Welcome back to another installment of Replay or Reject, PlayStation Classic Edition. Just a quick recap, I'm giving each game on the PlayStation Classic 1 hour to win me over. After that hour, I'll make my determination on whether the game would be worth replaying in the future, or if it will get added to my ever-growing list of reject games that I never want to play again. There's only one game on this list that I've actually beaten before. The rest of them either I have barely played, never played, or never even heard of. Well, that's enough preamble, so let's get to it. Now we have Mr. Driller. Another puzzle game that I've never heard of before, but it must have been popular enough at the time, because according to Wikipedia, it spawned over a dozen sequels. That's encouraging, as you usually don't get that many sequels if your game completely blows. Opening up the game, we're treated to a cutscene about blocks overtaking the town. I'm not sure if they're like evil blocks or just regular blocks, but apparently we don't want them taking over the town. Credit where credit's due. Since I wasn't even expecting a cutscene or story of any kind, it at least got a chuckle out of me.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
In the menu, we do have a few modes to choose from. We got arcade mode, survival mode, and time attack. One of my criticisms of the last puzzle game on the Classic, Intelligent Quoob, was that there was essentially just the one mode. With 3 modes, we're at least a little bit better off than we were with that game. I jumped into arcade mode first, with no instructions and just started drilling downwards, and got smushed pretty quickly. Okay, let's try not to do that again. Oh, an air canister. I think I need those. Crap, got baited. There is a live system, which allows for more leniency, thank God. Being the scrub that I am, I set it to the max in the menu. If you're a masochist, though, you could drop it all the way down to 1. On my first try, I made it a staggering 370 feet.
Falling well short of our goal, Illustrated. Yeah.
Just gotta record my name for posterity here. After that first attempt, though, I think that was all I needed to figure out the basics. From my understanding, you just try to get down as far as you can, avoiding getting squished by the falling blocks, and along the way you collect air canisters to keep your air gauge full so you don't suffocate. If you break the wooden boxes, that also causes you to lose air for some reason, so just avoid those, and that's about it. On my second attempt, I was able to make it down significantly further, and it looks like every 500 feet there's a stage break, and then the appearance of the block switches up too. For some reason, after I hit 1,000 feet, the change actually made this part a little bit easier since there were now only 2 colors of blocks. But then at 1,500, the color count went back up, and I didn't make it much further. The next few rounds I actually did worse. I don't know if it was just bad luck or lack of spatial awareness on my part, but there's just a lot going on here, and having to keep track of everything above and below you is a little bit rough. It took me 3 more attempts before I made it to the next mark at 2,000 feet, but I'd worked myself into a no-win situation and died shortly after that. By this point, I was about 45 minutes into my hour and hadn't even touched the other modes, so I decided to back out and give them a try. I was hoping to have been able to make it to 2,500 feet, but I guess Mom was right.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt!
I tried time attack next, and it took me 4 attempts just to make it to the goal, and my time wasn't even remotely close. Seriously, how are you doing that in 15 seconds? There's a couple different courses to choose from, and they seem to have slight variations in the layout. On the Egypt level, I still sucked, but my time was at least closer to the goal this time. Last up is survival mode, where you get 1 life and just try to make it down as far as you can. I don't really see how that's different, though, than just playing arcade mode with it set to only give you 1 life. It's certainly possible that I'm missing something, though. I only had time for 2 rounds before my hour was up, and I didn't make it very far. This game's going to be another reject for me. Well, I can think of worse ways to spend an hour. I don't have any real desire to keep playing afterwards. It's not an inherently bad game, and they did try to add in some variety by offering the different modes, but I just don't see how this is meant to represent the best of what the PlayStation 1 had to offer, or how this would be classified as a classic game. There was a Game Boy Color version released shortly after, and that probably would have been the better version to have. Understandably, there was a downgrade in terms of graphics, but this isn't a game that's reliant on cutting-edge visuals. And puzzle games are great on handhelds because it's just something to pass the time while you're on the bus or sitting at the DMV or something. It makes more sense to play a game like this when you're out and about rather than sitting at home with much better games at your disposal. For that reason, Mr. Driller just misses the mark.